You know what I just realized? I just realized that my mic has been muted for the past 11 minutes. No shit. Ah! Okay, here's what I'm going to do for all of the people listening or trying to listen live and not actually getting any audio at all. I'm going to start this whole thing over from scratch. So how embarrassing is that? So that there's actually some audio and you can actually understand what the hell I'm talking about. Oh, I apologize, everyone. This is just... this is how it is. The pain is real. All right, let's start over. Welcome to another Dragonlance Saga Order of Aesthetics News episode. It is back Kukul, Yurth Green the 9th. My name is Adam, and I've got volume this time. Today I was sifting through the Iconochronos and ran across this exciting bit of news from late last month. Paladine, the Dragonlance-inspired metal band, just released another album. That's right, their second, all-inspired, themed by our favorite fantasy setting, Dragonlance. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, ring the bell, and you can support this channel and pick up some Dragonlance gaming materials using my affiliate link in the description below. All right, so I skipped the intro video because clearly I had already gone through all that, and I don't want to really jump through those hoops again if I don't have to. But what I will do is introduce you to Paladine if you are not familiar, as I wasn't until maybe like a week ago. Paladine, as they wrote on their website you can visit it yourself, paladineband.com, Paladine strongly believes that metal is a lifestyle, a religion, and a lot more than a simple music genre. Therefore, the band is committed to playing epic metal without any compromises, and wishes to become a part of its glorious history. Now, the formation, Paladine mastermind Christ Stergianidis on bass guitar, together with Thanos Kolingsogianakis on guitar, and Stematis Katsafados on drums, all ex-members of Mithral, join forces. Paladine is formed. The band's name refers to the god of good and justice in the Dragonlance universe. The purpose is to make metal music. I'm going to pause this really quick to make sure it doesn't go any further. The purpose is to make music by combining the finest elements of epic, heavy power metal. Power, melody, speed, energy, and emotion. Original material is composed, inspired by Christ's love for fantasy literature, especially the Dragonlance Saga and its two main authors, Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. Now, I dig that. I can get on board with that. What I cannot get on board with is no one, seemingly, editing the copywriting on these websites. What I just read you is horribly written. I understand the band wants to come off as authoritative and as hardcore and as true to the genre as possible. But come on, people. You can do better than that. I think you can do better than that. The writing was just atrocious. The music's not bad, though. Now, I come from the hair metal era. So, death metal, really hardcore speed metal thrash is not really my cup of tea. Dragonlance, on the other hand, is. So, as soon as I found out that this album dropped, I wanted to get into it. I wanted to hear about it, and I wanted to sort of dive down that rabbit hole of Dragonlance-inspired music. And whoa, what a rabbit hole it actually is. There is a ton of metal inspired by Dragonlance. And of course, there's a bunch of other stuff. So the intent of this particular episode, now that my audio is working, is to present some of not only just Paladine and their newest released album, but some of the other Dragonlance-inspired bands' music in this live stream. Now, I am sitting here sipping on the last of my Pig's Nose blended scotch, which is quite delicious. Smooth as a pig's nose, as they put on the bottle, which is a little ridiculous copywriting there as well. So it's not just isolated to metal bands' websites. But we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to listen to some metal music. We're going to listen to some Dragonlance inspired music. It's going to be a good time. I don't know how long it's going to last, but just for a little bit. I don't want to wear out my welcome, but I do want to present some good stuff. So sit down, kick back with your own glass of whiskey or scotch or whatever you drink, and let's dive into it. Now, Paladine, the members that made this latest album, Entering the Abyss, are composed of there's so many consonants in these pseudonyms. I don't understand it, but I'm going to fight through it. It's Mapampus Solakis on drums, Sotiris Paraskevas on guitar, Nick Protonotarios on vocals, John Katz on guitar. John, I love you. Thank you for having just a regular pseudonym that is easily pronounced. I just can't stand all of the extra consonants. I really can't. It drives me nuts. Christ Sturgiandidis on bass guitar. Oy vey. They are the band members that put this latest album together. This is called Entering the Abyss. It was released on March 26, 2021 on No Remorse Records. Now, the track list has 11 tracks. This is their second studio album. Their first was also a Dragonlance-inspired list, as the band in and of itself is. And it was called Finding Solace. Now, the original album was released in April 7th, 2017 on No Remorse Records as well. It had 8 tracks. So we're going 3 more tracks deep with this album just released. And I got a bit of a video that I'm going to be previewing for you in order to, let you get your feet wet, get your beak a little dipped in the water, so you know what this music is all about. And again, it's not bad. Now, I want to lay a little bit of groundwork here because I understand some people have some reservations about playing others' copyrighted music. YouTube is pretty amazing because they will actually monetize on the artist's behalf any music played on another channel. So by me playing this, they're going to get a little bit of taste. They're going to get their beak wet of a little bit of advertising dollars. So I just see a win-win. I don't see any negatives at all. It's not like I'm monetizing any of this anyway. So, for those bands that, they want to monetize their music out there, I totally get it. I dig it. We're in a streaming world, and so not many people are going out to buy obscure Dragonlance-inspired records or CDs. So this is a way for them to get a little extra money that they would not otherwise have gotten. All right, that being said, I want to present to you Entering the Abyss, the track that is named after the album, in their lyric video. So let's dive into that right now. Maybe. I was having this issue before too. Anyone joining at this part where you can actually hear me, throw up in the chat. Are there any bands that you really appreciate that are inspired by Dragonlance? I think that's good. You get the feel for what the the type of album it is. Not bad though, right? Like if you're into that type of metal, it's actually great. And I really don't mind it at all. It's just not my cup of tea, but I would listen to something like this just because it's Dragonlance specifically inspired. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of cachet that endears me to that type of music. But again, like I mentioned earlier, this isn't the only Dragonlance inspired music. It's just the most recent. So I want to go through a timeline, as it were, of Dragonlance inspired music that, and maybe I'll play a couple tracks here and there to give you a little bit of understanding of what this music sounds like. I actually discovered, side note, one of these bands I really actually enjoy and I will return to on a regular basis because it is just good damn music. I mean, Dragonlance aside, it's just really nice. And I'll hit you up when we get to that point. And again, this is not a list that is all inclusive. This is just my scrubbing the internet for a couple hours this morning. So I understand, I'm going to have some links on the episode post on my website for this particular episode, dragonlance-saga.com, that's going to have an entirely inclusive list that I will continually update as I have time to add more music and more tracks. So it's going to show you, first of all, the album artwork, which if you just love music, I come from record era where you just hold the record as you're listening, the record sleeve as you're listening to the music, and just sort of devour the artwork. That's kind of my era. So I really appreciate record cover art. So I wanted to make sure to include that. Plus, metal has a long tradition of really great album art. And all of these bands, whether you like the music or not, they're all batting 1,000 when it comes to their art. And as an art director, I can certainly appreciate that. The first, most recent, other than this, we already showed you guys here, Paladine's last album released in 2017 called Finding Solace. Let me give you a taste of that. Why not? We're here. There's no reason not to. I'm going to throw up... I don't know. Let's listen to the title track just really briefly here. Actually, I have a track called Night of the Black Rose and The Inn of the Last Home, which I know all of us are going to love, right? This is actually Finding Solace that we're listening to.
Love has changed the world.
escape. This is actually really nice. I like how chill it is, you know? That's great. I'm really impressed by that, if I'm being honest. Let's see what's next. All right, so the next most recent from Paladine's most recent release in my searches is Master of Past and Present, which is the song title by Reveal from their album Overlord, which was released in 2019. Their website is revealband.com. Let me throw this up so we can get a bit of a taste on what this sounds like. Again, metal. I love it.
I still remember as I walked through the forest. The woods opened the way that changed my life. My eyes are like hourglass that see the effects of time. Look like moonshine in the eternal sky. My dark robes are my curse for trying to change the time. Now they call me master of present and past. I left the path of heroes and all my companions behind to walk alone. I choose my destiny in the tower, lost everything and everyone. I saw the mountain of fire falling from the sky. I will not fail. It was the punishment of the gods, but now I change it all.
Awesome. It does seem like these bands are trying to pack in a little bit too much story with a 3 to 5 minute song, right? Like he just went from explaining who Raceland was to the Cataclysm, right? Like that might be a little bit too much story for one, 4-minute track. But I appreciate the effort and it actually sounds really good. All right, so the next one I want to talk about is Dragonlance Tales by Tartalo Music. This is acoustic, and it's from their Legend album, released in 2018. There we go. This is the band that I actually learned that I really like. I mean, a lot. I really dig this track. So let's listen to this. It's called Dragonlance Tales. A lot of these albums are going to be either having individual tracks inspired by Dragonlance, or the entire album is going to be a concept album based around the Dragonlance world. I'm not going to go through it. Oh, give me a taste. Very epic. Great. So you can get a feel for that. I first of all, I love me some classic music. I mean, just to be fair, J.S. Bach is my favorite classical music composer, probably followed up by Strauss. But I just there's nothing can capture the emotion, in my opinion, of the human experience like classical music can. And so I really do appreciate it. And I understand, like, there's a lot of metal music that teeters lightly on the classical music side and then brings in their metal, which I actually really, really appreciate in most cases. Like old school Metallica, I definitely dig. But just to the point of, if you want any music that's just going to be sort of, background or atmospheric music, classical music is the way to go. And then, of course, this Tartalo music, which is a strange band name in my opinion, is really great for that. Like I used to always look for the best Dungeons and Dragons gaming music tracks, and I would, fall back on albums like the Excalibur film soundtrack, which is really, really good. Or other fantasy films like Willow. I love me some Willow. Willow soundtrack was actually sampled by a lot of films afterward. I mean, a lot, in a lot of different adventure genres, because the music is so great. So that's another one that you always want to fall back on, because it's really, really good. But this is entering that level of, just sort of go-to great Celtic / fantasy classical music. So check it out. I really dig it. All right, this next is Blind Guardian. The track is The Soul Forged. Let me throw this album cover up. Not a big fan of this particular album cover, but what are you going to do? Again, the track is called Soul Forged. This is from their Night at the Opera album, released in 2017. And let's give it a go here. Is that the gate? Was he heading? You understand where this is going. Not my cup of tea. A little bit of Dream Theater inspired type tunes. Not bad though, right? I mean, as you know, for the genre, it's to be expected. This next track is called The Last Trial. Let me throw up the album cover. Sorry about that. So The Last Trial is actually a musical produced by Polina Menshishk. It's Russian. In 2016, this album was released. This is a play that's been going on, I think, since 2008, though I could be mistaken. You can check out the English website lasttestmusical.weebly.com, and they give you all of the background to the Russian musical. Again, it's Russian, and so for me, it's hard to watch if you can't understand the lyrics that are being sung. It's very much like an opera, and I'm going to show you a little bit of snippet of one of the songs here in just a second, so you can get a feel for it. It's actually really good. Now, there's a YouTube video with English subtitles. I highly recommend you check out. I've actually added it to the Dragonlance video playlist on my YouTube channel, so you can check it out yourself. It's actually really good, but it's all centered around the Legends era, where Raceland actually enters the Abyss to defeat the Dark Queen and realizes that if he actually does what he intends to do, he is going to be a god over a desolate wasteland of nothingness. So he finally gets what he wants, but he realizes what he wants is not exactly what he wanted. And I feel like that is a wonderful message for all of us who head first dive into life and don't really look past the end of our noses to the result of our actions. Raceland is one of those emotionally driven people who, though he strategically looks to the future, he doesn't look at the result of his actions in the future, which is infinitely more important. And it's a great lesson to learn, just as any basic human individual. So let's check out what this is all about, shall we?
Черное с белой смотрится дивно, а я посчитала, что ты безнадежный сухарь.
Ты всегда приходишь, почуяв слабость, в час, когда я власть над собой теряю. Но на этот раз шутка не удалась. С этим наваждением совладаю. Сам я заронил этот плевел в душу, сам его растил, поливал ядом. Выросла любовь из сочувствия к слабым, жалости ко мне и жажды славы.
Пусть ее любовь лишь искусство плод. Разве ты не хочешь остаться с нею, покорить тебя и свое возьмет? Это чувство Raceland тебя сильнее тебя.
Вот она влюбилась, надменная жрица, была смела, а теперь боится, была умна, а теперь что кукла? Вот она любовь, но не радость, а мука, только б не попасться в свои сети, только...
So I highly recommend you all check out the actual English dubbed version of the YouTube video because, again, it is very interesting. And we all love Raceland. No one doesn't love Raceland. And so it's always nice to see how he is portrayed through others' eyes, how other people perceive this wonderful story of Legends, the Legends trilogy. So you got to love it, right? You just have to. All right. The next, I'm not going to give you any of the, oh, did I? Okay, so Evertales. The album is called Of Dragons and Elves. It was released in 2015, and it is a concept album all about Dragonlance. I'm not sure I need to... Yeah, I'll play a little bit. This is Paladin's The rest of the album is not just there's some singing stuff. Again, a lot of metal is inspired by classical music, and a lot of metal musicians cut their teeth learning classical music. So the next one I want to show you is the band called Lord. Now, this again is a concept album. I don't know if every track is inspired by Dragonlance, but certainly there are a few. And what I want to play for you is The Legend of Huma. I believe this is a 2-disc album. I don't believe the entire track is all instrumental like that was, but I think this is the downfall of most metal music. Let me know if you disagree. They try to be too epic, right? Like what the audience, what all we really want is a really great song. So you've got some riffs, you got some transitions, you got some breakdowns, you got some chorus. Just give us a good, solid song. But the more you go in length, the huge, long intros or the super long solos, or it just becomes too much. Just too much. At least it is for me. I don't know. Do you guys disagree? All right, so this next one is probably my favorite of the bunch for obvious reasons. The Dragonlance Soundtrack. Now, this film, Dragons of Autumn Twilight, was an animated short that came out in like 2008, I think it was, as did this album. It was released, I'm losing my notes here, by Carl Prusser? I don't know. Carl Prusser, we'll say. And he's fantastic. Like, this is a great album. I'm not going to play any music, but I have the entire album on my YouTube channel. Just go check it out. Look for Dragonlance Soundtrack as a playlist, and it's got every single one of them. It is great. I'm hoping that they monetize off of my videos because they deserve it. But I think Dragonlance pretty much just dropped the ball on any of their Dragonlance relations to this film because it was so bad. The illustration was so bad in it that, you know, the audio voiceovers were great, the music was great, the story's great, but the animation just, it was a mix between 2D and 3D, and it just was not good enough. And they should have identified that early on and just had the entire thing 2D, but for whatever reason they decided not to, and it suffered for it. However, the album is phenomenal, so check it out on your own. And let's go to this next one. Pyramaze, I don't know which it is, but Karaman's Poem is the track that we're going to listen to a bit of. And it was released in 2008 on their album Immortal. So let's dig in. That's pretty dope. I like that track a lot. And you don't get a lot of tracks from Karaman's perspective. You know what I mean? Like, he's a big, lumbering, simple guy. He loves his drink, and he loves his food, and he loves his women. You can't shame a man with those appetites. It's the best. That's what we are, right? And so it's nice to get a track from that perspective. Anyway, that being said, let's move on. This next one is from Epidemia. The album is, well, it translates to Livin' in Twilight. It's Russian. The track is translated to The Black Mage, and it was released in 2005. Let me see if I can find it in my list here, and here we go. Again, over a minute. Already probably.
Он с детства был слаб, он познал унижение. Изгой в этом мире искал силы суть. И в книгах волшебных, найдя утешение, ступил на извилистый магии путь. Он не просил помочь, он видел свет, он знал ответ. Он не хотел, но нож не больше оставить след. Ты черный маг, ты обречен.
Pretty cool. All right. Let's keep moving on. We've got a lot. Not a lot. We got a couple more to go over. Again, this is not a complete list of Dragonlance inspired music. This is just what I was able to find after a couple hours. So let me know in the chat or in the comments below if there are any tracks or albums that you know about that I did not cover. And I will try to keep it all updated on my website. This is Dargaard. It is inspired by the region, Dargaard's Keep, that Lord Soth dwelt within. And this song is called Tekesis' Dance. This is an instrumental, and it's not bad. A lot more delicate than I expected. Right? Just kind of cool background music. I dig it. This next is not background music at all. It's by the band Nightwish, their album Wishmaster in 2000. So we're we're going back in time here. Let's listen to this. All right, you get the idea here. I'm not a big fan of mixing opera and metal. That's where I live. I'm not a big fan of it. Do you like it? You got to let me know if you do, because I don't understand. This last one we're going to listen to is by Lake of Tears. The track is called Raceland The Rose, and it's from their album A Crimson Cosmos from 1997. We're going back. Again, this isn't very old for me. I know for some of you that in 1997, maybe this is like years after I graduated high school. So for me, this is still, recent. But whatever. Let's take a listen to this. Raceland The Rose. Actually sounds really good. I think you get the idea. I'm just not a big fan of that. All right, so what do you guys think of Paladine's newest release, Entering the Abyss, or any of these other metal-inspired bands? Why is it just metal? Why are there so few? It seems like a go-to for classical or atmospheric-styled music to use the Dragonlance universe, the Dragonlance setting, as inspiration. It just fits perfectly for it. I don't know why they don't have more out there. It's crazy. That being said, Dragonlance actually has its own music in the Leaves from the Inn of the Last Home trilogy of source books. There's a lot of really great music therein, not to mention the original modules. There's music in it too. So you get a feel for what Dragonlance songs should sound like, or were intended to be like, inspired by Celtic classical traditions of music. But there's nothing wrong with bridging the gap and throwing in some metal, or throwing in some, more instrumental, more big sounding tunes inspired by the same setting. What's your favorite? I would like to know. But that is going to do it for this Order of Aesthetics news episode. I apologize about the sound issue in the first 11 minutes. I'm going to end up trimming those out. For those watching this after the fact, you missed pure silence. So you're welcome. Do you know of any other Dragonlance inspired music that I would be appreciative of? Do you prefer the metal, the classical, or the musical music featured in this episode? Feel free to email me at info@dragonlance-saga.com or comment below. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video, and you can support this channel and pick up some Dragonlance gaming materials by using the affiliate link in the description below. This channel is all about celebrating the wonderful world of the Dragonlance Saga, and I hope you'll join me in that celebration. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Adam with Dragonlance Saga, and until next time, Slanjavar.